Hey everybody, this is Iconbuster. Well, I got out of jail, and now I've been spending this whole week looking for this guy named Charlie. Then it suddenly occurred to me, I think Charlie's a fictional character. So, going back to the drawing board, I realized I really like that Billbo stuff a lot. So what I did is I worked up a plan to promote a brand new television show. And with me here today is Phil Meup, who's the director of television for NBC Network. How you doing, Phil Meup? Are you ready to hear some of my ideas?
How'd you find me here? I'm like in a restaurant. I'm eating dinner.
So Phil's ready to hear my ideas. So listen closely, Phil. This is my idea.
I'm being held against my will here. What the hell?
Phil, calm down. Okay, my viewers don't want to hear about your personal problems. This is about me, okay? And this idea I have of this character, this mutant that just can't die, okay? So, here's my first idea for its very first episode. It's going to be called Car Smash. Two people in a high-speed car race, one is a guy and one is a girl, is going really fast, yelling over cellular phone sex talk. Billbo thinks he's Frogger, tries to cross the street. The driver comes at him at 150 miles per hour, and the female driver hits him. "Oh my God, I killed him!" she screams as she desperately comes to a stop. She gets out of the car and starts yelling at the guy. "This isn't your idea, now we killed somebody!" And the guy says, "Well, if we dump his body in a river, nobody will know." A voice from nowhere comes out and says, "I'm okay." They look to see Billbo standing up uninjured. Billbo continues, "Well, at that velocity you hit me was about 190 miles per hour. He pauses and pulls out a speeding ticket book from his overcoat, and the speed limit is only 45 miles per hour. He continues, "I say that was about a quick, what's 190 minus 45? The guy and girl looks at him confused. The guy finally stutters, 145? That's good. Now I need to see your proof of title, driver's license, and insurance, and then I'll fill out in..." Forget it. That cop behind you can take over this. I'm out of here. He starts to walk away, but turns around to the girl and says, "Hey, can I get a ride to town?" So what do you think of that first idea? I mean, the whole episode could be about him, discovering like an illegal car racing thing, and he's in there and he's trying to stop it, and he's gonna figure out all these clues and get to the bottom of who's in charge of this illegal car thing.
Continue on. That sounds interesting enough, I guess. Not really. It's been done before. Shows like Smallville's done with the legal racing and stuff like that. But let's see what the rest of your ideas are.
Okay. Well, here's another one. This one's called Pro Racer. Two car drivers, stuntmen, are sitting down talking about a 180-degree turn. They look at each other and ask if the others would like to demonstrate how to do it. A long pause, and then suddenly a voice behind them goes, "I'll do it!" They turn around to see Billbo. They ask him if he knows how to do it. He goes, "Sure, I'll try." So they give him the keys to the Porsche and gets in, straps on his seatbelt, starts the engine, and revs it up for a while. Then he peels out and begins building speed. He went through the basic steps for the 180-degree turn by hitting the emergency brake, making a sharp right, and the car doesn't respond like it's supposed to. The tires lift off the ground, the car flips over sideways, roll it sideways into 3 rows, and then finally comes to a stop and explodes. That's not how you do it," said one of the stunt drivers. "Do you think he's dead?" "I don't know, but let's get out of here before they blame this on us," says the other. A voice from the wreckage yells out, "I'm okay! Did I do it right?" as Billbo crawls out of the wreckage. So See, the way I see this guy is he travels around a lot, and in this episode he could be like in Hollywood, and like he finds this underground drug ring that are supplying drugs to the actors and stuff like that, and he could try to put a stop to it. What do you think of that?
That's two episodes you've done with cars. That's too repetitious. But let's see what the rest of your ideas are.
Think I should save it as a second season opener?
Maybe.
Okay. Alright. So, here's my third idea. This is going to be the third episode. It's called Got Pilot. What you're thinking about should probably be the pilot. But no, it's going to be the third episode. Billbo is riding a plane, and the stewardess comes out the back screaming. The people in the cockpit are requesting a pilot. People begin to scream, "We need a pilot!" The plane is going to crash. Billbo, sitting in his seat, smiles and says, "Oh, I've seen this commercial before. They just want a pin." Looks to the guy beside him, which just happens to have a pilot pin, and says, "Let me have a pin to give to them." The guy from the pilot, the guy gives him a funny look and says confusedly, "All right, here you go." Billbo gets up and walks towards the steward and gives her a pin. "Here you go. Here's a pilot pin." "No," insists the stewardess. "We really need a pilot." Billbo now drops the pin to the floor and looks off, and shock comes across his face. "Got pilot?" Flashes on the screen, and the theme, then the Billbo theme. The rest of the episode is about hijackers taking over the plane, and Billbo just sits there until people are threatened, like his neighbor, the guy with the pin, and then he takes them out. "All right, that's enough," says Billbo. One of the men fills him with bullet holes, and he crumples to the ground. "That goes for anyone else who wants to be a hero," the guy that shot Billbo says. Billbo gets up. "Do you think shooting me is going to stop me? I've been shot up, stabbed, blown up with nuclear bombs. Okay, maybe not nuclear bombs, but they were explosive, frozen in refrigerators for 3 days, and unlike my counterpart, I don't like to be killed because it hurts." Afterwards, the plane lands, and Billbo says after getting off, "Thank God there was a pilot on board."
That was just a screwy episode.
Yeah.
A little cartoony, but it might work.
Well, it references a commercial, so people might get that reference.
What commercial?
The Pilot Pit commercial.
Pilot pin. Oh, you mean those really, really old Pilot Pin commercials that nobody even remembers anymore? You should try to do something like Geico or something, not Pilot Pin. Nobody remembers those commercials.
You're a hard man to please, you know that?
I'm in the middle of eating.
Whatever, dude. Here's my fourth episode. Billbo is in this episode fighting Fear. The original Billbo.
Fear? Who the hell's Fear?
He's going to be a major villain on the show. Even though this is the fourth episode. And he's already described how he was killed several times, which no one ever gets to see. And
you're so screwy.
Just listen. Billbo in this episode is fighting Fear. Fear kills him several times and tries to leave clues behind that would lead Billbo away from his real crime. But Billbo ends up not following clues because he can't figure them out anyways, and stumbles upon the real crime scene. Fear and confusion and rage explains the clues to him and how they were supposed to lead him away. Pulling a gun from one of his men, he just shoots Billbo several times, emptying the gun into him. Watching Billbo go down, and then the bullets pop out, and the blood goes back into the wounds, and the wounds heal. Fear turns around to his men and says, "Men, we have a problem." Billbo, forming his quarterstaff in his hands, says, "Yes, you do," as he hits him in the back of the head, knocking Fear unconscious.
That's supposed to be a major supervillain?
Yeah, he does stuff. He makes you scared.
He didn't do anything. He stood there, grabbed the gun, shot him, and then like turned around and was like, hey, and then got knocked out while he was turned around.
Are you gonna argue with me about all my freaking episodes here?
But what kind of supervillain does, I mean, what powers? He doesn't have no powers. He's just like, I'm a gangster thug. I mean, come on. Give me something good here at this story.
Okay, here's the best idea I have, and if you don't like it, you can kiss my ass. Okay? Excuse me. Still sick from a couple weeks ago. No Billbo here. Mutation and Ninja are battling each other. Bilbo is not in this episode at all.
First off, you're going to have an episode where you're not even in it at all. And who the hell is Ninja and Mutation?
They're very important characters to the plot! Bilbo is not in this episode, and then finally Ninja and Mutation are shape-changing from one form to another, saying, oh yeah, I'm finally... They shape-change several people, like Bill Clinton. Finally, they end up shape-changing into each other before the shape change into themselves. At this time, they fight, and Mutation wins. Fuck you! I hate you! Fuck this place! You don't even like any of my ideas! You can go to hell!
Hey, wait, you forgot your papers, huh? Hey, what's this? Reward show. If the show lasts 3 seasons. This might be interesting. Let's see. Bilbo is in the fight for his life, and Bilbo does an awesome backflip, and suddenly someone yells, "Cut!" and everyone puts down their weapons. Bilbo walks up to the camera and asks, "How did I do?" Bilbo gets a call from his brother, and his brother tells him how he has to open a Heavy Metal Thunder Studios in Europe. And Bilbo argues with him about how stupid it is to be opening a studio in Europe during a major war and how dangerous it is to be flying, but Heavy Metal Thunder tells him it's going to be okay, and to meet him at the studio at 9 a.m. to drive him to the airport. Bilbo hangs up and looks towards his girlfriend, who is the famous singer Miley Cyrus, and tells her he won't be able to go with her on the town, and also tells her he's in charge of HMT production company for the next 3 weeks. She understands and tells him to be careful. The next day he meets Heavy Metal Thunder at the main offices in Sacramento, and on the drive up there they talk about current events like World War III in Los Angeles, falling in the ocean, and about famous people who died and how lucky they were to have earthquake insurance. Wow, this must be futuristic. When they get to the airport, they hug each other goodbye, and Bilbo watches Heavy Metal Thunder walk off. But he sees him stop and talk to someone who looks familiar and watches him walk off with him. Bilbo turns around and bumps into a strange-looking guy. Then he apologizes and heads back to the office. When he gets back to the office, he meets Heavy Metal Thunder's secretary, and she says that he's got a visitor. He walks into the office to see Brittany Spears sitting by his desk. He says hi, and she replies and asks for his brother. He apologizes and tells her that he's in charge while his brother is gone on business. Brittany and Bilbo talk about their past together and about the town Bilbo and her went on for the soundtrack to the Intergalactic Space Travelers movie. Finally, she tells him that she needs a new manager after what her old manager did to her, and she wanted HMT Productions Company to represent her. But Bilbo tells her that right now he needs someone to help him take care of the production company because he's never taken care of it by himself, and says if she worked as his sidekick, he'll spare no expense on getting her to work for HMT Enterprises. Minutes later, he shows her around the building and sets her on an assignment for their music industries. Then he went home. Heavy Metal Thunder and Bilbo's house is 2 stories plus a stories underground. This is where Billbo lives. There is a college 60 miles away from the house, and they allowed about 10 college students to live with them and work as interns. Huh. Wow. Hey, I know. I can make a mint off of this. Rob Snyder's been looking for some work. I bet I could sell this idea to him and get a mint. I better go make calls. I got work to do. Hey, waiter, give me the check.